What's up, everybody? All you squid kids out there. This is FTIU insert number here because I low-key forgot. I am one of your amazing commentators today, my Luddick, and with me I have the amazing Inker. How you doing today?
I am doing so great. I'm so excited to be here for FTI2 106. Got a lot of exciting sets coming up, including the one that we're about to cover, which will be the 10 seed versus the 11 seed here, which yeah, as close as it can possibly get. Something I'm really looking forward to see.
Is speaking of things we're excited to see, are there any weapons in particular you want to get a little a glimpse of? Because I know in low level there's a lot more opportunities to push those not so favored weapons.
Yeah, I actually, we had a little bit of a downtime before going live here, and I was looking at some of the profiles of the players, and I do think that we might be seeing a Hydra, and I'd be definitely really excited if that were the case. It's one of my favorite weapons that doesn't really see a lot of use in a lot of the sets that I watch, so I'm definitely excited to see that.
I agree. I feel like Hydra is definitely one of those weapons that could be a super dominant in the right hands. But today we're going first to Robo Ramen Zones. Now this is a very common competitive map. Anywhere you'll find is pretty much in every map pool. You'll play it at least once per tourney. By this point in the competitive scene, if you don't know your way around Robo Ramen, I think you should start to get on that because it's just so popular. It's considered one of the better zones maps because
Yes.
like it's just there's many ways to approach it, as we'll see here.
Yes, I remember I had a debate with, or not even a debate, we talked about it with CJK one time. We decided it's the final destination of Splatoon stages, and there is the Hydra paired with a Dynamo actually. So a lot of downtime on the side of Six Sensor, whereas Citric Hues with this Nautilus and with this Gal, I think are going to be able to play a lot faster. How out as
On the foot, on the back foot pretty early on as Six Sensors starts to traverse into that elbow. That was a little far after the behind that. They have a player at the very front of the final play at the top. Not able to Gecko with the fire post. But it seems that 600 is able to move on to the zone.
Yeah, and the Gal, they're getting a crucial pick on the spot lane, which allows Never Success to the elbow. The combo drops and get a crazy pick there, and now he's going to be taken out, unfortunately, there. But they are managing to hold this really well. As they're trying to build them up. Good live there from the Gal. I definitely think that the Stream Gal, as it were, definitely not picked for the special, but rather the sub in throwing ball means that it can move even faster. You know, the wall is quite good for regular 52, but it kind of gives us some
left and right, 3 going down to T-Bird Slider as it jumps out as a desperate attempt to contest that zone, and the lid wipe in favor of at neutralization, and they aren't quite able to do it in game 1. Pretty dominant showing from Six Censored.
Yeah, absolutely. I really loved how quick they were in every single after game. I remember towards the end there with maybe 15 ticks remaining or so, it was the Hydra last remaining, and the Dapples on 600 really running it down as fast as possible, managing to take that out. It might have been a trade, but a very valuable pick nonetheless, and that's going to be what allowed Six Sensor to take that game 1 without too much trouble.
You know what when I first thought of when I saw that comp was, okay, Citrus has a ton of range against Six Sensor's very short range comp. But the downside to that is having so much range, you have to be able to get set up. And Six Censored was just able to assert so much pressure and can demand so much space that I don't think Citric Hues had any opportunity to get that setup needed for their comp to work.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the big concerns when you have weapons like Hydra and Dynamo both. If there are players that really like to run it down, play aggressively, sometimes that can just be food for that sort of weapon if they're set up in the right location, and like just can be so hard to run them down. But I really liked how the members of Sixth Censored were, fast enough and taking the proper angles so that they were not getting caught out by those weapons from Citric Hues. But we're going to see how Citric Hues can adapt to hopefully put those weapons in better positions, as we have ship-shaped tower control next.
Ship-shaped cargo company is definitely, see, this map is definitely more long-range favored. If you don't have a long-range weapon on your team, you're gonna have a lot more trouble pushing up, just because it is so open. You have to be able to have all the sight lines. So this is definitely a spot where that Hydra can shine from Citric Hues. However, we did see, I want to shout out T-Bird from Sixth Censored. They were able to hold on to that slider for until Citric Hues started to push past that elbow and burn through half their specials, and that's how I think that's how slider was supposed to be played, as a reaction to someone else's special. They were able to catch them off guard and be able to kind of keep that space, and I think that's what they're going to be able to do here. So I feel like Citric Hues just needs to have a game plan in mind to counteract it or even bait out the slider.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. As we are going to see the run back from that side from T-Bird on the gap build now. Narfer on the side of Citric Hues actually opting for whales instead of slide. It's probably a tower control specific choice. But it is with the heavy range advantage, but with the player disadvantage. But until was that a bomb taking 2 out and evening the score and allowing Hydra stuck in this really bad low ground position is just getting forced all the way back. Gonna have cooler though, which is definitely one of the advantages of the comp of Citric Hues, as they're set up.
Yes, I see a down getting a nice hit on T-Bird here in mid, as Citric Hues is trying to
Yeah, I think the jump did more than its coverage. I think that the Gallon moment was looking at that rather than why they got picked out there. But now, with the slide and the Blue Bomb both coming in at this tower to take out Dino and prevent coming any further. This not versus Dabble 1v1 is going the way of Sixth Censored, as well as this Gal fight on the top, and now they have specials once again, and the first checkpoint is now broken. We are going to see a more sustained
Gal get that screen out, but 2 going down. Hydra ends up screening out. As it's just a Viper mid here, as Caesar gets the clear again. Fire coming out on the tower isn't quite able to pick off the stab. Guns coming in, but they're not really that safe. At least that making a stage 3 to give cooler to the team, as Sixth Censored is able to hold on to the top weapon.
Oh, I love the target order. That was the way of Sixth Censored now going down. Booyah Bomb coming out. Knowledge set up on the spot. He's gonna find it. Huge pick onto that Hydra. And another one!
We love Nautilus seeing some showtime here, as Sixth Censored is able to get into that important area. And to end up going down now, let's double click as tower special for Dragon here trying to get some fighting power on the top left area.
Rush back and go quickly, and they're just not able to get that. They need to find something there. It's a Booyah Bomb now from Darius on the Hydra. Now up here, they need to make the most of this and get on that tower fast.
They have control of this top left area. They have the top counter on the right side to try to relatively decent as mentioned already, that is just a zap
dragon onto the ledge, finding one, and so many more fights are happening. I mean, it feels like all the time, like, teams are at least but it does not take that long. Dynamo gonna find the trigger. They had Aura for a moment. Now, another Buddha bomb coming out. It just feels like with these advantages, they have 3 down for like 2 down. They really need to get to this tower. There are 2 on the side of six sensor. Oh my goodness. Sitting on this bottom left, and finally, it looks like Citric Hues are gonna manage to get that, and now 3 down. The last is the pro. Can we get a lead swap here with 30 seconds to go? It does not look like there's a lot coming in the way of it, as the Hydra now is going to take that lead with 30 seconds left. They look like they didn't have anything going on, and now the points are marching even further beyond.
And then lead goes back to 6 censored.
Oh my goodness, what a finish there, Melodic. I cannot believe what I just saw. Citric Hues, it looked like they were about to secure an incredible smash and grab victory with only, it only takes 1 push in Splatoon, and it just looked as if they were going to be the ones to take that game, but despite the fact that they had a long march through on tower overtime, 6 censored managed to clutch up when it matters most, get the push beyond that they had been waiting for, and an intense 1v1 scramble on tower is gonna see them win this first set.
I was kind of excited. I was excited. I was like, okay, they got their lead. They just gotta play it safe. They gotta play it chill. But then it was just a Hydra and the 52, and I'm like, I know how this 52 plays by now. It's gonna be it's gonna be tough, especially with them dancing around the tower oh so nicely. It was a very tense moment there. My screen cut out though, so I was kind of blind. But it was even more suspenseful for me. But very good hold, and very good aggression from 6 Sensor. They were able to rebound very quickly in such a short amount of time. I can only imagine the pressure that they were feeling in that moment.
Oh my goodness, and the elation, with the calms when you find that win, and you're like, I mean, the 52 was weak, the Hydra, was shooting down at that tower. It makes you wonder about the hitbox changes, right? From being in squid form, making it a little bit easier perhaps for you to kind of dance around the tower there in those crucial situations. And unfortunately, the Hydra had no choice but to jump for the tower at the end, it seemed. But once that happens, it's that's the gal's dream, and then they managed it coming out on top and put 1 foot into the next bracket. They do, of course, next have to face Starboard, being the 1 seed. So be a very difficult task for them. But if there's anything that's going to give you a lot of belief, it's that kind of set right there.
Indeed. It's just, let me check that real quick. I do think both teams were it was a very entertaining opener for this tournament, I will think, as we are getting into our round 2 coming up shortly, so don't go anywhere.
ourselves back again. As I try to let you in, it will be empty from within. The seasons change, we shed our skin until we're almost human.
All right, welcome back everybody for round 2. Once again, I am Inker2, joined here by Melodic, and here we are fighting. We are zoning in on this fight, which is going to be Project in the Works versus the Crimson Raiders over in our group stage match. How are we doing? And how are we feeling about the first kind of sets that we just seen?
Honestly, I'm excited. I liked obviously seeing the not so meta weapons. That was a plus. It would have been really funny if we started with zones this first set because that pun would have made a little more sense. But honestly, yeah, I'm vibing. I do see like at least one familiar face from Project in the Works, specifically Rare from main course, I think.
Yes.
Main
Yes.
course. I think I saw met them at Riptide. If you go, you should go to Riptide if you're not going already. It's really fun. Anyways,
True.
but let's back to the topic at hand. Scorch Gorge, Rainmaker. It's a map. It's a map that has some very dairy products like features, cough cheese, cough. But maybe we won't see that today. Maybe we'll just see a nice fair game. But let's get right into it.
Yeah, talking about Rainmaker Scorch and mentioning Riptide in the same sentence.
Oh my God, you're so
happened.
right.
Yeah, what happened last time? We're gonna see double sword coming out on the side of Crimson Raiders, who I'm sure are very excited for the upcoming release this month.
Oh yeah. We see the DK going full aggro here, getting a nice trade out. Dread is able to win that 1v1 against his. It's just the that's the splashdown dualies, the end parries. As Project in the Worst is the first one to grab the Rainmaker and probably get the checkpoint.
Yeah, wow, so much pain control and winning so many fights right away. Rare on this bow is now going to be the one holding the Rainmaker and looking to get some fast points as the strike coming out. The slide pushing all the way up through it, and we're seeing a push to 22 right away as the swords are the only two left alive, but we are close to bubble here. I could not be surprised if we saw a little bit more. Oh, you know, I like that attempt there coming out from away healer on TCAB. You know, Rainmakers like all modes, but you know, only the furthest push is what matters. Or I guess zones isn't really clans. Okay, I lied. But only the furthest push is going to be what matters. And I really don't mind when you're in the first minute of the game and you already have such an insane push. If I'm the project in the works right now, I'm thinking, wow, we might not have to push the Rainmaker any further than that. So, you know, a little sneak for a couple more points can't hurt to get away. But as I
sorry, keep go.
no, yeah, no, that absolutely could be what they're. That could be a devious plan of theirs in the back of the head, knowing the way that this has started. We did see Crimson Raiders get close to breaking that checkpoint, but they did get a delayed wipe, which is going to allow Project in the Works to not stall the Rainmaker, but instead push this forward. But maybe they should have stalled because so many specials come out, and it's going to be a wipeout. Kirby there, getting Aura there with all of those picks and that slider coming out, and now Crimson Raiders are looking to push this first checkpoint. Now, even though they didn't have cooler, the Project in the Works is going to be back fast enough to, you know, secure this defense. And what a defense it is. I do think Project in the Works, you know, it's good to move forward fast when you get a lot of picks like that, but I think maybe they went a little bit too far, and suddenly they are the ones on the back foot again.
Yes, we see the Rainmaker here taking the left path this time, trying to extend their lead. Rare and a fearless Rainmaker carrier getting taken down, but it looks to be the Dualies as we're taking advantage of this left space now. They do have strikes, so we do choose to pop them a little bit early just to ensure that space on the right side. Splatoon coming out there making a safe jump out. They do have to watch for the drop in mid. They have the Rainmaker in the corner. The chunks are coming out alongside a hammer and a slider. Hammer going down. The bow is trying their best to contest this Rainmaker. They get a pick, isn't quite able to get the second, and the bubble is deployed. And that is 2 down on Crimson Raiders, meaning that push is probably effectively over as Rare is in control of this Rainmaker again and trying to make this push onto the right side. We didn't get called out by Sheet. It's trying to get a sneaky pick. They are able to get the trade out before getting picked by the Dread. 2 left on the side of Project in the Works. The Hammer coming out, trying to find a sneaky pick. Isn't quite able to do so and gets punished for it, as Crimson Raiders now has the number advantage as they try to traverse through mid.
Ooh, so many fights flying out there, and the checkpoint crucially is down this time as we see 2 on this corner. Kirby getting 1, now fighting with the teammate. Are they going to manage to get the trade on that other one? But no, escapes, but the slider canceled there. Wiper going to drop down behind this Rainmaker. Can they find that pick beforehand? The Rain is moving fast. Not quite fast enough, though. They are going to be taken out as Layla gets 3 and secures this delayed wipeout, and Project in the Works. You know, they were looking kind of scary there for a moment, but, you know, they can breathe, but not for very long, though. Goji on this roller, popping Aura of their own, and now, with a minute left, Crimson Raiders are going to be in prime position here to try to take that lead.
Indeed, 2 going down on both sides here. Slider coming out, trying to pick out the Rainmaker, isn't quite able to do so, but they are heavily weakened. Forced to retreat back into mid, getting a pick on the bow. It is just the Rainmaker left alone on this elbow, trying to push up any further than they can. Timer is ticking down. 30 seconds left on the clock. They only have to get out in like 20 or so points here. But we have a wait here right here. Sharking on the snipe. They have their bubble at the ready, trying to poke out with bombs. Just waiting for the right moment to poke and going in now. They get the Dread. We've had so many. Level gets popped. Strikes coming out. 2 going down. It's just a Rainmaker and the G-Tech left alive. Still backed up. They have 20 seconds left on the board. They have to. The chunks gonna come out. The G-Tech got behind, getting the jump. Then the Rainmaker going down to the jumps, and it's just the Dualies left alive. Nowhere to be seen. So this should be locked away for Project in the Works.
Yeah, and it did look like Crimson Raiders gave themselves the absolute best chance that they could at the end there, but as it were, Project in the Works were just winning those fights. You know, the objective was set up in the perfect spot, so if Crimson Raiders could win, you know, a fight or 2 from that right side, the path was there, but they just couldn't get it done. Project in the Works keeping their nerve. You know, that's not an easy thing to do in Rainmaker, in overtime, especially when you're trying to defend a lead and Rainmaker's kind of knocking around your doorstep, but managing to hold their nerve really, really well there and secure game 1.
I totally agree there. I do want to just highlight Layla there on that defense specifically. They were able to play off so well from that chip damage from their team and get that nice triple there, ultimately stopping that push, leaving it I think it was just the dually on top left. But that alone probably just secured their spot and to let them allow their team to reset into the further defense, which was that overtime push. but definitely a great showing from both teams. But it did also show us that Crimson Raiders had that fight behind them. They were able to get in that position where they could take the lead, and it's going to lead for a much interesting set later on as we're getting into our next match here. I believe Splat Zone's Mahi Mahi, another staple in the works. Definitely the Splatoon 1 variant is better in my opinion, but we got what we got. So how are we thinking the teams are going to adapt here to the varying water levels and different ways to play this map?
Well, hopefully we won't see the first level for very long. I think that's not a very controversial opinion. But I am a big fan of Mahi zones, though. Maybe the water has to lower for it to be more of a playable map. But I mean, I think once it does, it's one of the best zones maps that we've got. And I definitely think that the Reef Slider is gonna be especially relevant in the smaller zone, and we can definitely see the Dread get a free cap of the zone at pretty much any moment. So that's something to look out for.
Well, I wouldn't say free cap. You'd have to have some push behind it ever since the nerfs. They kept shrinking the radius and making the damage bigger, which is totally weird. But
You
that's
gotta
besides
combo
the
with the suction
point.
bomb.
Or like maybe a chump from I forgot
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
bow.
yeah.
You got different
The
tools to play around.
Yeah, I think the bow is definitely gonna be pretty strong on this. So, you chump mid and then it's the whole map. You just chumped the entire map.
Pretty
That's
much,
not
yeah.
bad.
But this map is just so much different than Scorch because you have to go you have to set a short distance to get to the objective compared to Rainmaker where you had to go across the whole map to get to mid compared to
Yeah.
this map where it's just right there, So it's gonna be interesting to see if we're gonna see any use of these side islands, even though they're more hidden away. They're definitely could be useful for like a sneak attack. Definitely from the wipers maybe, but we'll get into that right now.
Yeah, the double sword is going to be making that return along with bow and the dread, and of course the opposing dread and the splash on the M3 dualies. Maybe M3 a little bit weaker on Rainmaker can be definitely helpful to pop shields and whatnot. But here I definitely think that it's we're going to see a lot of Rainmaker. But they are going to be the first one down. Layla rather, running it down fast, getting traded out for their troubles, and both teams will shoot down momentarily, but Project in the Works are going to be the ones with the paint advantage thanks to this bow, and therefore they're going to be the ones to be objective.
Did you see the strikes coming out? Trapping, I don't know how that didn't kill, but they were able to recap the zone, one going down both sides. It seems like Crimson Raiders is trying to contest the zone, but the chumps are coming out, giving Project Inner Work that advantage. Splashdown into the zone, trying to neutralize it. So is the Reef Slider, isn't quite able to finish off the dualies, giving Project Inner Work that established hold as another goes down. And it seems they have most control of mid here. Decap going down to a bomb, but two are down in Crimson Raiders spawn. Layla going on the offensive here. They have this ultra champ. They can want to make more plays happening. They get one. They are going to get two, but they aren't quite able to finish it off through the chip. But they do have strikes ready to go. They end up missing one on the great. Crimson Raiders is trying to make their push. They're diving onto this bow. Great play here. They aren't quite able to get that finish. They got the jump. She's like pretty good here on the right side, being called out by the bow. As they are able to neutralize, but they are two down. Isn't quite able to get that cap and get a penalty. This is very scary for Crimson Raiders.
Yeah, Dynamo manages to make out for the meantime. We do see a slider on the side of Crimson Raiders, which is definitely going to be needed. We have 10 points remaining. A bunch of bombs coming in, dueling Reef Sliders, and it is going to manage to get the zone cap. We did see the opposing Reef Slider here on the side of Project in the Works was trying to keep the zone neutral, but it just did not work out the way that they had planned. Of course, though, they are going to manage to continue their hold of mid, so no need to panic. Their victory is on hold for now.
Hey, it's still anybody's game. Two going down on Project in the Works as they're pushing this all into the right corner. This is where Dynamo likes to shine, keeping people bunched up and then creating down overhead. They have this high ground now. Dapple going far and getting a pick on the wiper, establishing this immense hold. They don't want to get too greedy here going down to the bow. They do only have 76 left compared to 7, so it's a long fight upwards. But Project in the Works is trying to make this push into mid. The bow going on a complete offense here before getting finished off the Dread here. Fighting nicely with that decap, getting two. It's just the the dually left alive as Project in the Works keeps running down that penalty.
That was a great fight there, and away healer going down in front. I've noticed both teams absolutely not shy in the slightest to just be rushing the opposing team spawn, you know, the moment they have any opportunity to do so. It's just, it's a dangerous game on this map when there is absolutely no space between mid. You know, if you rush in too fast and, you know, when you lose that fight, on a lot of other maps, that's totally fine. You push forward, you won the space, so even if you die there, you can still sort of hold mid, hold objective for the time being as you get a jump back. On this map, however, it's so small that it's allowed a lot of the things to go one way or the other. But, I mean, as I'm saying that, the points ticking all the way down, and the special, there was a splashdown on the side of Crimson Raiders, but it just could not find its way to zone fast enough, and Project in the Works are going to clean this one up nicely and win the set 2-0.
I mean, that's just how Mahi goes sometimes. You're able to keep fighting back and forth because it is just really easy to get back to mid. But the fight after that is what matters. And I feel like Project in the Works, we're just able to get that rebound time and time again. Even when everything might seem super difficult, when like in the last few seconds, just giving note to the restarter, which I thought went in cheese, but it ended up cheesing again. It did give them another leg in that fight. And that is honestly really impressive to still see that there is that level of coordination at teams this new. So congratulations to Project in the Works, but Crimson Raiders, don't count them out just yet. Both teams were pretty amazing there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe there's one more set in that group, and it's going to be Project in the Works facing off against Gas Station Sushi. That's a funny name. And Gas Station Sushi did manage to beat Crimson Raiders, so that's going to be a really good set as well to decide who goes into the gold bracket.
Indeed, honestly, I'm just loving. That's the second different set that we saw at Dynamo. Just is
Yeah.
Dynamo like what's the status on Dynamo right now?
I
Because
mean, I
I
think
have been getting various results.
Dynamo, I think, is always going to be like solid, you know, especially in you know, FTIU. I definitely think there's always going to be a place for it, and I think now it's probably stronger than it has been before. I know it just got like a 10 points per special nerf, I believe, but that's
Oh.
not really what's going to be forcing it onto compositions, and being annoying for teams is not its cooler output. It's going to be its threat on all sorts of angles.
No, I agree. Definitely, especially with all its kits. We saw the gold one the first round and the chumps the second, or gold the first round and cooler the
Yeah, yeah.
second. Lots of
So
versatility. We can
so that
see
means we're going to see
what?
Whale next, right?
Oh, that would be funny. Hey, it would be funny.
I,
I think we might have to do that. Wink, 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 wink.
Yeah, somebody get in the match chat of whatever the next set is. Like, please, please.
Please. But yes, we will be taking a brief intermission until that third match is ready. It's going to be Dubious Yakitori Steakhouse versus 15 over. Make sure to stay tuned for that.
days is so dope. Hey man, what's up? Hey, dude, that internet these days is so dope, man. School sucks, dude. You can just go on the stinging internet, 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 on the stinging internet.
All
I
right,
got some.
welcome.
I got some bread, guys. Anyone want
Okay.
some?
My lot got some bread, so I guess I'm gonna be the one saying welcome back. It's the two of us once again, and this time, as we said, it's gonna be 15 over versus Dubious Yakitori Steakhouse, which are gonna be, I was mentioning for the first set, we said, oh, 10 versus 11 seed, as close as it can get. Now we have the 5 versus the 6 seed, so the same exact closest in skill, but even higher quality of gameplay in theory. So this one is going to be a really excited one, as we're going to get started on Clamblitz Museum d'Alfonsino.
Gross.
Gross.
Personally, I hate Museum DL Fiancino. Like, better in S1, absolutely. S3 is just like, it's too big, it's too open. There's not enough cover like there used to be. That's
It's too
just
good for leader.
me. But no, like even like pretty much just leader. But like it's just so hard to get back in against any backline if they can get it set up in mid. I'm just like, meh. We could have left it in S1 or maybe brought it back S2. But we already have another museum map in S2, so I guess we had to put it here. I'm just glad it doesn't have to come back in S4 because like it's just maybe it's just a skill issue on my part, but like I just always have trouble retaking. But that's just me. There's many different ways to approach. I feel like there's a YouTube video somewhere of how you should retake. I haven't watched it. I probably should have. Maybe I did. I remember the thumbnail. But that's aside. It's low level. They gotta do some funny crap. So I'm excited to see that.
We're definitely going to be looking out for any long-range threats on either side here. Not completely familiar with these team comps. We're going to see the pencil, Gal Carbon coming out on that side. And there is the leader, 15 over, licking their lips at this map, definitely. And we're going to see how much value Mare Bear can get over 10 on the side of
Insert that one Sonic meme here. Wait, this is the comps I'm used to seeing. We got a cooler on both sides, we got an entry special, we got an aggro. That's what I'm used to seeing. We got the Dreadbringer here once again making its debut. Well, not really. But it had the slider, trying to push onto the right side, drifting over the pencil, making an unfortunate drop to the mid, but is able to get out. As they're starting to make an advance onto this elbow, but getting distracted almost by that 52 as a cap gets popped trying to delay their push. Booyabomb gets popped as well, establishing this presence on the right side, 1-1 on both sides as Clam's economy is trying to get some balls together as 15 over is now making their full push onto the center.
Ooh, yeah, and Astra here did really well to hold 6 clams, so then just finding a couple in ways, and there's going to be a big slider coming up. They're not going to find the picks, and the ball, unfortunately, I think whenever a ball is thrown after a reslider, it's kind of random the direction it goes, and it happened to go forward as far away from the rest of the team as possible, so it is only going to be the one ball push as, 15 over forced to back up here, and, Dubious Yakitori Steakhouse, Bujay on this pallet is taking up a lot of space in the mid, and just overall so threatening with that wall. Talk about there's no cover on this map. Well, what if I just made some?
I agree. It was Carbon getting a nice pick on the 52. Zuko coming out, getting that leader, giving them so much space, almost getting another one, helping out with a chip damage. It seems that Steakhouse here is going to make their push onto the elbow. The Stamper getting a nice combo onto the Carbon and saying, you can't push me up. Not yet. But it's kind of just a stalemate. 3 minutes in and not only one clam score. I hope this doesn't turn into a mincemeat situation. But Whale coming out from the Gal. Pencil getting some chip damage on this left side. Not much pressure being put out just yet. The leader is on top mid, so that is something to watch out for.
Ooh, yeah, 10 getting real low there, but managing to get that cooler down, which is going to be crucial. Now, the members of 15 over have so much paint out in mid, and it's going to be up to Dubious Yakitori Steakhouse to win some of these fights going on. As they are cooler, they need to bring the aggression now. And they managed to find the first pick, but after that, it's just going to be trades coming out. The Carbon, though, with that Ninja Squid finding good vertical flick there, and now with the Zuka, can they manage to extend this kill streak? The answer is no, and they get sniped out for their troubles.
Indeed, 2 going down on Yakitori Steakhouse as the Mare Bear is able to get their next power clam. Using a fight on the spinner here, covering, getting the nice anchor overextending, I believe, and getting forced back to their own spinner. 2 minutes left on the board, still only 1 score. 15 over is doing a nice job at keeping the stalemate relatively in their favor. As Blue Jay is trying to make the offense before getting stopped by that stamper. It is just a trade on trade here as Dubious Yakitori Steakhouse is trying to get presence on the flat, but not many times to follow up. That jump is coming in from Carbon. It does seem to go unnoticed, getting a kill on the trade-off screen, I believe. 96 versus 52. Who will win? Weber coming out, Lear coming down. It is just a bloodbath up there.
Yeah, it's a from the flat of 15 over, which, they had managed to hold mid for so long, but, and as I was saying, the moment that it looks like they were getting pushed back really far, they did manage to get the other team 3 down, and now the picks just keep coming, and now with a minute to go, it looks like with this Clam economy, they're going to have a chance to get even more with a slider. Is going to take 2 down, and now the Pen left defender, I was going to say for themselves, but the Carbon is back from Respawn, who's now going to go down, and now even more Clams, another football. The Booyah Bomb is going to extend this push. They are 2 down. The Gal has 3 Clams here, which can be used to push up a little bit. They have cooler. They are just going to opt to play for life, though, and back up and paint mid. With 40 seconds to go and such a lead, I cannot disagree with that decision.
That's the push I'm talking about. 38 to 130 seconds left. 2 going down on Steakhouse, though. Hold on now. They have some plans at the ready. They are really chipped to this whale. They do have mid control, a power time at the ready, so we do have an overtime here. 2 sitting on this bottom right side, being very shark heavy. 52, the Carbon trying to sneak in, being called out by the ink mine. Sorry. 2 going down at 15 over. This might be Steakhouse's chance to get some points on the board here.
Yeah, and DJ really needs to make the most of this, but being marked and now getting hit by this slider, which actually is gonna fall off, probably in an attempt to shred that crab, managing to kill the Carbon, and with the Booyah Bomb support is gonna find, yeah, that's gonna be a delayed wipeout. So 15 over now. Just need to keep the paint up and just chill out here. They go a couple down, but it's not gonna matter. They were pretty far up. And Asuka, that's like a. You're just mad. Yeah, like
there is some hatred behind that one.
I like that a lot. There you go. Get your stats up there if you're not gonna win.
But yeah, definitely a nice showing from 15 over. Definitely more of a slow start compared to other sets, but that end game was played pretty well, getting that push down just to seal the deal in that end game. And I do just want to point out, well, obviously comps. One had a leader, the other had a pencil. Definitely the 2 have been seen as equally matched for a bit now. However, I do think that leader edged it out because they have that one shot. They have that range advantage. They also have the special, which is a direct counter to that Carbon. That honestly, on that map, it's just so open. Playing any like sharky weapon like brush, Carbon, roller, or like even a dapple dually is 10 times more difficult just because there's not enough place for you to hide. But on the flip side, we're going to Rainmaker Humpback, which is the complete opposite of Museum DL Fancino, where short range weapons thrive and long range weapons usually suffer, specifically the leader. Then again, there is Kraken. Kraken leader could do some silly stuff if you know how to use it right, but does it outweigh the Carbon strengths and the 52? I'm not sure. I do also notice there may have been a lack of paint in total for Steakhouse. Because, like, I mean, yeah, they have the pencil. The 52 paints a lot for itself. But then you have the Carbon and the Pro. the pros getting taken up by Crab, and the Carbon, obviously a Carbon unless it's the chump one. So honestly, the cards were stacked against them, but they did put up a good fight in the end. But now they have an even better chance to secure their spot on Rainmaker Huntback. It's Rainmaker, anything can.
Yeah, definitely. And I in addition to the Carbon and Gal, I think the Dreadringer as well is going to be something to keep an eye on. And on the opposing side, I'll definitely be curious to see if either of these teams opt for like a switch off of the comp, just to not have the backline anymore. Of course, it being Rainmaker, it's like I know people don't really love playing Chargers on this map, but I mean if you're going to be holding the Rainmaker for your pushes, I don't think it's as relevant, but I definitely think the strengths of the Carbon are going to be the real talking point here, as that is going to be so much better than Museum.
I definitely agree. We did see some things that the Carbon had to offer, specifically their Zuka placement. We saw them get lots of value with the Zukas that were on that we caught on camera, like in the end game and during their attempt at a push on Plat. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they use that the trajectory, sorry, of the Zuka to hit over ledges where you can't normally. And now there's been some clips that have seen what Zuka used to do, and it was really silly and a lot of spiraling shots. But at the end of the day, it kind of comes down to skill. Like, can you aim it in the general direction and hope for the best, or can you actually just hit them dead on and still hope for the best if it registers?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Nintendo.
Yes, but going back to the charger point, there is the splatter scope. The vanilla splatter scope specifically.
Oh, vacuum.
Similar range to pencil, yes, but they have the vacuum. Vacuum is such a good stabilizer, and especially in this meta where everything's so fast, you gotta have that stability in your comp to be able to push forward. And with the the short range weapons that they have, like Carbon and 52, they can get up there. But we see a complete comp change from both sides, ditching the back
Oh
line
my
in
goodness.
total. The Steakhouse having double roller. Holy.
Wow, a double roller I think is so interesting on this map. If you can keep the paint up to it, 52, as you said, it's a shooter, paints for itself. The pro definitely has a lot of work cut out for it here. And on the other side, it's going to be a mini coming out instead of the leader, which is completely different. And it is still going to be the Claws Gal, not opting for the vacuum, but they're actually going to go down before they can get the cooler down. And Dubious Yakitori Steakhouse is going to have the cooler, and it's going to have the numbers advantage and this Rainmaker try to wait out this Booyah Bomb, but then get that first check.
We see the drop on left side from that Stamper getting called out pretty soon. The Mini trying to make a play onto the Rainmaker isn't quite able to. Rainmaker playing very safe, but 3 go down on 15 over, giving the Rainmaker clear range to that checkpoint, almost going down to the he does go down to the auto bomb. Oh, we didn't see that.
No, that's the Dynamo weakness.
We are
mobility.
Yeah, they're able to get a checkpoint. There seems to be another delayed wipe in favor of 15 over. So now it is their chance to try to get some points on the board.
Yeah, wow. It did seem as if I thought even more points could go down, but I mean, that's the point of the checkpoint, right? Is to prevent games from lasting 2 seconds. So it is going to be, the roller actually, with a really good shark managing to find the Rainmaker now and just, still maintaining this sneakiness out through mid and waiting for something to come in, like this Reef Slider drop down, and they're going to find this sword, surely? Yes, and now, with a bubble as well, going to look to secure control of this elbow. So many fights happening all over the map. It really does feel like, the teams are, finding their own fights all over the place and all sorts of areas, but the sword going down is going to allow Gay Prince now on this Rainmaker to push the Rainmaker. There's so much paint for them forward. They've already pushed to 24, and now I see a clear path to the goal. Can they get down? No, they can't. They can get up, but not down, as 3 go down, and that, I believe, is going to be is the roller. Okay, the roller is back, not charging in spawn somewhere, and it's going to be up to the Mini now to grab, and they have not scored a single point yet, but the Rainmaker over on this far right side is going to be pretty good with this Booyah Bomb. I think they're going to be able to get this check and contest it.
Yes, we see one of the pros trying to get that little follow-up shot on the checkpoint. They are able to get it, meaning no checkpoint for 15 over. That is a push to 1 is a hard one to beat. They have to end KO to get this game, meaning Steakhouse is in a great position to just stall it out, Rainmaker, and just see what happens. They do opt to pick it up and try to move it out of that checkpoint, but they do have to be careful because there are 2 checkpoints. As we see this mini here on the right side, who has their hammer at the ready to flank this Rainmaker. It's just the Rainmaker alone in mid. Everything's pretty split up. This hammer is just being very sneaky as 2 go down on Steakhouse, and Mini deciding to drop on the Rainmaker, popping that hammer, is able to get the trade at the expense of their special. But 2 minutes left on the clock, and 15 over has a lot of control in mid here.
Yeah, I mean, Dubious Yakitori Steakhouse need to just kill out a little bit. It feels as if they're scattered, you know, and the scatteredness is going to be what favors the team that's behind in this game, absolutely. So 15 over needs to take advantage of the chaos, and speaking of which, we're seeing the left check be opted for. Talk about a little bit of chaos here, as you know, now the mini set up, getting the bowler down to half, and it's going to live. They're close to hammer. Now if they had hammer, then I definitely could have seen a world in which they got a nice kill streak, but now this Dynamo is going to be set up in such a good position on the high ground, but they're actually going to be going down, as you know, Corn going down, but that's 2 in a row for this roller, and with the bubble as well, they're shutting down any attempt. And you know, with a minute left, it's going to be so difficult. Bomb is going to come out, but not quite get the picks that it wants. And as long as it stays here, I definitely fancy the chances of Steakhouse, because it is just so much harder to push from this position.
I agree, but it's also just as dangerous because you can snowball heavily from here. But the roller just being able to shark on that ledge is so detrimental to 15 overs. Pushing power. It might just be better to reset here rather than grab. They pop hammer really early. They aren't able to get the jump, meaning a waste of special. They are able to half the roller, but the roller is still there. And the Rainmaker lives. They didn't fall. They cleared the roller. Now they have to move. Either they take a top left or they can move, reset it right. They do opt for the top left half. This is probably the more harder with the push is how narrow it is. The Vaguepost coming out, falling a little short as 15 over. It does opt to take the right path in the end. The roller is rushing there, so you have to be careful there. They are able to get 1. They're not quite able to get 2. 2 down on 15 over. We're in overtime. It is just the Rainmaker left alive. They have to survive long enough to get their teammates back on the field, but half of their overtime is over. As we see them, it's the mini with the Rainmaker, so meaning no hammer. It's gonna be super hard to push through this, depending on how well Steakhouse's defense is.
The space though, and all of a sudden, here comes the slide. That's gonna be no, the slider just barely not gonna be enough, and the roller managed to take it out. Oh my goodness, I think if the slide like wasn't detonated and just went a little bit further, might have even found 2 picks there. But you know, who knows if the Rainmaker can make it all the way from there. A lot of ifs and buts when it comes to Splatoon, especially in Rainmaker. And when all's said and done, it's gonna be Dubious Yakitori Steakhouse evening up the score, forcing a game 3 with some really cool adaptations, I have to say.
I will say, I mean, the short range definitely came out to play today. It is humpback pump track. Anything is possible, and that is just what we saw. Dubious Yakitori Steakhouse to have that firepower to essentially do what the opposite of what 15 over did last game. Instead of having that slow start and building up to that super high push, they had the super high push first, and then just played a strong defense the rest of the time. Am I sad I didn't see a back charger? Yes. Is it the end of the world? No. It was still a really interesting set. But
You must conform to the meta.
No!
Please. I was actually the back charger would have been interesting. I definitely was more of the opinion that we'd see a Vac Gal, just because I think Gal is like such a weird main weapon. But if you're already used to playing it for the cooler, then I thought it had like a slightly bigger chance of being chosen. But again, you know, you don't want to mess up with your team's cooler. So if nobody else was going to get it, I definitely understand that.
When is the brush getting cooler? /J. I'm totally kidding. Don't give it the permanent ink brush. No, it's getting sprinkler. It's getting sprinkler Kraken. That's the end of it. I don't want to hear it. Oh, not Kraken.
I mean, they might even prefer cooler to that. I mean, I think it's bad either way.
Yeah, but all things aside, our last match of the set is going to be Splat Zone's Barnacle and Dime. What are we shopping at the mall? What are we shopping for?
Ooh. What are we shopping? We're shopping for ink brush kits. We're shopping for sprinklers to give it, and
No,
we're shopping for
no. It's probably it's probably gonna get bubbler. That's probably what's gonna be it. Sprinkler
That'd be really
bubbler.
good. They would want
I
that.
know it'd be really freaking annoying. But I personally I want to shop for some new clothes, especially some new outfits for Riptide in the fall.
Oh, I'm so excited
Oh,
for Riptide.
Riptide!
Everybody's
I'm
got to
so
come to
excited.
Riptide.
If you have the opportunity to go to Riptide, totally do it. It's totally worth it. Just shameless plug. I don't even care.
Can confirm. Can confirm. Is it even a plug? Oh, it's not like we're getting
Yeah,
like
well,
anything
yeah,
out of
well, yeah,
people
yeah, yeah.
going. We just it's like
We should go. Oh,
it's
because
just
we
like a
told you.
real endorsement, like a real endorsement from real people that went and were like, "Oh my god, it's peak."
It's peak. It's peak. But just like Barnacle and Dime, kind of low key.
Honestly, I agree. I agree. I think
Another
well,
banger zones map with some flaws, obviously.
okay,
With
okay.
some
I
flaws.
think Clams Barnacle is like one of my favorite Clams maps, but I think Zones Barnacle
Really?
it's easy to get locked out of. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a big map, especially for Clams, but
No.
I don't know.
I well, agree to
Zones is
disagree.
neat. You
Agree
gotta
to disagree.
keep control of the flanks.
What
Um,
flanks in Splatoon 3? Since when?
okay, well, the street. I mean, it isn't really a flank, is it? Like, if
No,
it's
it's
just
not.
like if it's like 2 feet away from the zone, does it count? I don't know. It might.
I mean,
There's some
it
cover
has a
there.
yeah, more cover than Museum.
Uh,
But definitely having that ability to lock out is a strong upside here, which we saw from 15 over in the first game with the leader.
yeah,
Will we
and
see
I
a
think the leader will come
return?
back. Yes,
Do you?
yes.
Well,
I'm
let's
betting my
see.
house.
Let's see. Your
I'm betting my
house.
locker on it. My locker.
Okay, so that's a
There's the pen. So
pencil.
we're seeing return the pen. And
Ah,
yes, okay. I get
you're
two
not
houses now.
homeless. You're not
Yes.
homeless.
No, but I get 2 houses. That's how that works, right? But it is
Oh,
gonna be
well,
um,
yes, but
Respawn Punisher. They went out shopping in Barnacle for a Respawn Punisher shirt, and they just barely not sending some of that respawn for extended time. And just the flat to flat pressure is just gonna make this Ken's life so much harder. And you know, there's gonna be the first leader pick of the game. 20 seconds in, and 15 over. Gonna be the first one to take control of zone, and they get 3 down. And this slider is gonna be left alone, and they too will fall and allow 15 over to take such strong positions. I don't know what there's okay, so all 4 of them, you know, taking out this flat now, and this slide's coming out, and so much chip. Can the Dredge manage to find something? Well, the answer looks like no, but they are barely not going to live. They get a trade for their troubles, helping the team get a pick, and the points are flying.
I was gonna say they weren't traveling for some sliding shoes in the slider, but the 50-96 is able to hold on to that stack. They do the Yakitori Steakhouse does have the slider at the ready as well as a cooler, meaning they are able to get a respawn if they need it. Slider coming out, going into the stack is able to get that trade and the cap, giving a hefty penalty to 15 over.
Give me a heart attack on that slide. Did not go into the zone there with 11 points remaining. I'm thinking, oh no, the game's over, but you know, trusting that the team must have given some calm about, hey, you know, we got the zone. And you know what, they were right. You know, putting pressure on the flat, preventing 15 over, keep paint on the zone, and now it's going to be their turn to get a good hold as the points are ticking down, and they do have the Squid's advantage here for the time being. And you know, as time goes on, they're going to be building up their own specialties as well.
Indeed, we are trying to get a sneaky pick here on the pro on the right side. Isn't quite able to. The slider going in the zone by itself isn't able to find any value. Indeed, the Booyah getting top special. I feel like 15 over is getting pretty scared here. They are able to cap the unattended zone. Leader is able to kill that pencil on the jump. And that is pretty much a delayed wipe for 15 over, able to get another penalty onto Yakitori Steakhouse. The score is pretty close here, 11 to 30, 3 minutes left on the board. We do have a Wavebreaker at the ready from the leader. They are getting set up for this immense hold here.
Yeah, and I think both teams understand the importance of painting specials here, because, you know, once that slider failed, I was really scared, but then the Booyah Bomb comes in. Both teams are rocking that slide plus Booyah combo, and it is definitely really important, as you can see. And now we're going to need to see one of them coming in fast, but that's going to be a huge snipe, and another one coming in! The Booyah Bomb cannot come in fast enough. The points are taken down, and 15 over will be the ones that you see in gold bracket today.
Yeah, that double from 15 over, Mare Bear definitely putting in the work here and securing that spot in the top of winning the set for their team. Honestly, very important, probably the most important picks of the game here. They were able to recover from that misstep of the slider and just be able to lock out the remaining points. So that was just a very great showing from them, just showing the full capabilities of what Leader can do. But not to count out, to totally shove aside Dubious Yakitori Steakhouse, they were able to adapt and they were able to make changes to their play style to get that first win on Humpback Pump Track. But it just wasn't quite enough to counter the full force of 15 over.
Yeah, I mean, that was such an intense set. I mean, we had a lot of great sets on stream, actually. Now I think about it, a lot of or was it game 3 in the first
I think it was just
set?
close sets.
Oh, no, they were just close sets. Okay, but and that one was the closest of the bunch. Definitely delivered on the hype, and you can expect to see even more hype coming in as we continue the cast into the gold bracket. Maybe we'll even see 15 over again, or we'll maybe see a team that we've already seen.
Indeed, but that I believe is the end of our commentating block. Do you have any final notes for our lovely viewers?
No, I don't think so. Just enjoy the stream. It's gonna be a banger coming out. I've been Inker2. Find me on Twitch. Find me on Blue Sky. And how about you, Milotic?
You can find me at MiloQ everywhere with 2 U's, literally every platform. Also, I'm on Team Tragedy if you're doing Art Fight. But yeah, you'll probably see me around elsewhere doing other little jobs. But it won't be The Last of Us for sure. So make sure to stay tuned for Gold Bracket coming up next.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to From the Ink Up, edition number 106. I'm Frostix, and I'm joined by Blurple. Last time on From the Ink Up, we witnessed 15 over triumph against Dubious Yakitori House in their best of 3 set. And now they're back and ready for more as they take on Gold Bracket against Isengard. Blurple, what's up, man?
What's up? It's good to be here. I'm excited to watch watch 15 over go at it again. Mare Bear on that E-leader last game on Barnacle and Dime. Oh man, that was
True.
a scary. That was a scary little weapon they had.
Definitely, yeah. That double that they hit right before the game end. We were in the drag zone VC and we're like, ooh, that was nice. Even though I was like 15 seconds behind that.
But yeah, no, I'm very excited to see this matchup, and it's just I just thought it's gonna be good.
So a lot is on the line here. The stakes are raised, and if you lose this set, you're not going any further. And we're opening on Wait a second. Didn't they play No, okay, no. In their last set, they were on Museum Clams. Now they're on Museum Rain for game one. A little bit of deja vu, maybe, for 15 over.
A little bit of deja vu, but as you said, this is do one, do all. You die in the game, you die in real life.
I thought of like two things. I thought of Sword Art Online, and then I also thought of that third Spy Kids movie or something.
The third Spy Kids movie.
The third 3D Spy Kids movie. But let's get into the action right now. Mage, Fugitive, Stormy, as well as Lulu Wolf on Isengard, and 15 over are still sporting Astra, E, Mare Bear, and Saya.
So as we get into this game, we'll see the E-leaders back, Dreadringer, all of the similar setup to what we saw on Barnacle and Dime in the previous set, with Isengard having a 52 gal, Snipe Rider, lots of stuff you can see, pretty standard meta comp for Museum de Alfonso.
That being said, Isengard has something interesting, that being the Dapple Nouveau. That's going to be really good if Lulu Wolf can get into some really good forward position, but they've been shut down in the meantime. We're still in a pretty heated neutral game at the moment. Mage going down over to Mare Bear. They are almost at their wave breaker. No one is particularly moving forward just yet. There's a slider on the side of Isengard that will be ready to deploy at moment's notice here. We're just waiting for the right opportunity to fully move in. I think we're probably waiting for picks and for space to be taken.
Tacticooler comes out from the Snipe Rider, and I think we're waiting. The Dapple do get shut down before the slider can come out, and so 15 over will take the Rainmaker for a very quick cap on the checkpoint. Although I will say it's a bit in vain as Isengard takes the space back very confidently. Stamp comes out though, and getting 1 and 2. What a throw!
That throw is really reminiscent of what was it? I think Humpback Rain from last set. But unfortunately, E goes down to Stormy's Custom Blast before they go down. Lulu Wolf is breaking this with Dapple's immense object damage. But even still, this Rainmaker is still on Isengard's flat, and 15 over have not let go of mid. Astra, Saya, and E. Astra's unfortunately going down first. E and Saya are still on the field, but they're backing up as the Rainmaker is now being reset, as well as also Mare Bear is backing off. Saya's going to be able to get rid of Mage, and Lulu Wolf. A lot of picks are happening all across the map, Blurple.
Yeah, that was just a bloodbath in my opinion, but now 15 over taking the Rainmaker again. Reef Slider coming out, taking 2 out, and Isengard pushing E back. E slinking through, wipe out for the side of 15 over as they try to recoup their losses.
And now Mage and Stormy are moving in tandem to try to get rid of Saya, but Saya is not going down to them. Despite they get rid of Stormy, they have their eyes set out on Mage, they're a little bit half out. They're trying to definitely charge up that slider, because that slider can just immediately cancel out any push. And if anything, also that E bomb from Astra. And the members of Isengard are pretty pumped up towards the backside of mid. Stormy's already half health. Saya's slider is ready to rip. They do go down, that could be an important loss. The Saya's slider does rip, not claiming any targets. Fugitive is just firing off these shots with the Rainmaker getting rid of Saya here. Potentially also E if the shots line up. But Fugitive is going to jump off of mid and dunk the Rainmaker, getting their checkpoint clear. The scores are now really close, 53 to 58.
I see the Stamper does have their special backup, and so we might see that get popped here in a second as 15 over takes the Rainmaker back to that mid platform, and Stamp comes out now, but getting shut down very easily by the Snipe Rider as we basically reset.
Yeah, we're right back into a dead heat neutral here. Isengard does have their slider ready to rip. Stormy's going to be able to get rid of Astra. Also, Stormy's taking a lot of forward initiative, which is strange. Obviously, I think the Custom Blaster is a really solid front line. It can fight on all angles here. Lulu is a little bit late to the party, and their slider, unfortunately, will not be able to be deployed. Stormy is moving in, but they are alone, and they get one-shot by Astra. Here comes a slider by Saya, immediately running over Fugitive, and I think that push is over for the moment.
Yeah, 15 over basically pushed right back into their spawn as Isengard just takes a very desperate attempt at going for the cap, but I mean that was a bit of a misplay in my personal opinion, but I will 15 over managing to gather their bearings, have the Wavebreaker come out, and push Isengard back to mid.
Yeah, there's 1 minute left on the clock now, and 15 over definitely need to get their affairs in order. They get 2 down for the moment. They also have 2 specials online, the Booyah Bomb and the Stamp. This is good for getting picks. This is good for clearing out space. They need to use them very, very smartly. And unfortunately, with E going down first, that's an unfortunate loss. The Booyah Bomb from Astra will be deployed, forcing Mage and Lulu Wolf out. But look at Lulu Wolf. They have their slider ready to go here. And Bear needs to watch out. They cancel out the slider thanks to Astra. There's 30 seconds left on the clock. Blurble, will they be able to get this lead?
It's very possible the slider comes out and takes another life. Lulu Wolf getting the trade off Astra now in their backline, but Lulu Wolf goes for the suicide kill on the Rainmaker, and now Rainmaker is just it's in a unfortunate position for 15 over as time dwindles down under 10 seconds. Isengard takes definitive control of the Rainmaker as they're going to hold on to it and just play back, wait, and as time ticks down, that's game.
They were also eyeing the evil stall spot of Doom and Despair, if anything. So they were really keen on ensuring they could take that game. As Isengard taking game 1 after a very long bit of back and forth here. Some very strong momentum going into their favor.
Absolutely. I think that a slider there right at the end, just kind of pushing back the remaining members of 15 over that were left on the upper platform, kind of sealed the deal that we would be moving on to the next game, with Isengard taking it 1-0.
So let's see what is in store here. I'm looking at our master map sheet right now, and we're going to Umami Splat zones here. It's a double zone with one big rectangle in the middle, but no matter how mid is like, one thing about Umami rings certain, no matter what it's like, if you get dome and if you're able to hold court, that is a certified lockout.
Oh, absolutely. But I do think that we'll see maybe a bit more of an aggressive comp come from both sides, both teams, as it is a dual zone. And I think that allows for a bit more aggressive play, or rather enables more aggressive playmaking as they need to hold both zones.
They definitely need to find a way to hold both zones, and you ideally do that by ensuring that you hold the top rectangle. I've seen it being called divider or spine or just rectangle or something like that, top mid as well here. Obviously, I think you'd imagine Mare Bear to be sitting up there on the leader. Fugitive would also want to be sitting there with the pencil. I'd imagine E on the mini would like sitting there because mini can like paint over most like both of those zones really easily from top mid. On the side of Isengard, I'd also imagine the 52. I think that's Stormy, or I think it's Mage would want to be sitting there as well, if not going in with Lulu Wolf. So we're just waiting on everyone to ready up to get the second match on the way. It is also match point for Isengard, so this could be the end of the road for 15 over after that very decisive set last time.
Yeah, and I do think that while Isengard did take that game, it was a bit of a lucky, desperate attempt from the hands of Lulu Wolf as they kind of just clawed their way point by point all the way to the cap. And I think with a little bit more strategic planning, 15 over could have absolutely stopped that and taken the lead on their own counter push. But but that's not how the cookie crumbled that time around. But I do think 15 over has shown that they do have a very good like hold for zones, especially with that Barnacle and Dime game.
Yeah, exactly. I think you just have a lot of variable range between Astra and okay. I think they have brought in Korn once again. I'm pretty sure Corn wasn't on the field last time around, so Corn's getting a taste of gold bracket. And 1099 plus tax has brought out the carbon roller. Corn is still bringing out the 96 that we've seen them over, and we're also seeing Saya on the I forgot the official name, but it's the crab dread.
The crab dread, yeah.
Corn
It's the new one. It was not anyone's vocabulary for a very long time until the very random catalog update. But that being said, Saya taking a position up at the top point with Isengard members very slowly pinging them away as they die, and now taking over both zones and pushing very far into 15 over's spawn. The triple Zuka comes out, claiming nobody, super jump back. It's a bit of a unfortunate position for 15 over as they kind of get held out.
I think they're still holding mid to their advantage though, and they've already gotten rid of Saya. That's pretty huge, getting rid of the Dread. They've also gotten rid of the 52 as well as Astra. It's only Maribel left, and the rest of Isengard is just cleaning up mid, ensuring the zone is back in their yellow as they're now clearing the 60s, now into the 50s. And now we just got to see Mage holding in the chair. There's also a crab ready to be deployed from 15 over, as well as the cooler here. I think a counter push is long overdue, and here comes the crab from Saya, who is being ledged out by 1099 plus tax here. Saya's going to be able to get rid of Fugitive before the crab ends here. But unfortunately, this counter push is ending quickly as Isengard secures a knockout and are closing in on 15 over spawn.
Yeah, I think Fugitive holding that top point, like you said, before the game even started, it would be a absolutely necessary point to hold with the Snipe Rider. And now the Carbon Roller just going, and like the Carbon Roller going in and just claiming lives as they just get staggered and swept up underneath their feet, and that is a very definitive 2-0 for Isengard.
And unfortunately, this is the end of the road for 15 over, but they had a really solid run all throughout groups, and now into, at least they almost got to semis within gold bracket, but this is where their journey ends. Isengard will be moving forward to face Six Censored in semifinals.
I'm excited to see this matchup as we move into semifinals, especially with the honestly just the show that Isengard put on. I am I'm going to be pleasantly surprised at who turns out on top.
Yes, they are really aggressive when it comes down to it. Whether or not their aggressive comp is, say, Mage Lulu Wolf or Mage 1099 plus tax, and then Stormy Shark also there to just clean up fights with that custom blaster here. They're really offensive all around here, and then when they're assisted by just the immense pressure from the back from Fugitive on the leader, plus their the information that it gives out with Mines and Wavebreaker here, a lot like you gotta look out for Isengard. That's what I gotta say to Six Censored.
Oh, absolutely. That like sneaky little Carbon Roller pick that honestly really helped shut out a lot of those pushes as they kind of slinked around, caught people out of position, and just kind of helped the team push them all the way back to their own spawn. It was a show.
Yes, and there's still a lot more of show left in the stream as we're going into semifinals to stream Vaguepost Kingdom and Gas Station Sushi. Sushi, of course. So
Sushi,
don't go.
of course.
We're going to semis. Don't go anywhere. Fatiyu 106 will be back in a bit.
Welcome back to From the Ink Up 106. We're going to be getting into our semifinals streamed match with Six Censored against Isengard, the champions that we did just see previously in the
hold on.
quarterfinals.
Hold on, Blurble.
Holding on.
It's not Six Censored in Isengard. We're seeing Vaguepost
Oh,
Kingdom.
no, you're right.
Yeah.
I
It's
looked at the wrong one.
It's Vaguepost Kingdom and Gas Station Sushi. What are we getting for dinner? Sushi, of course.
Sushi, of course. No, that's my fault. I was looking at the brackets and I just my eyes drifted upwards towards 2.1 instead of 2.2.
Can't believe my co-caster has eyeball drift as well. It gets to the best of us.
My apologies. We will be watching Vaguepost Kingdom and Gas Station Sushi as they headed off from map 1, Tower Control on Hagglefish Market. Honestly, one of my favorite maps for Tower Control.
Same thing here. It's very vanilla, but you know, vanilla is a very liked flavor for a reason. It's very safe, but it's also very, very fun to play on here. It doesn't entirely feel like a lockout heavy map. There's still a lot of good pushback, and is that Inkling? They're running Dynabo on is that Vaguepost Kingdom? I think their Vaguepost Kingdom is running Dynabo.
I do see Dynabo, which is a very, very awesome pick to see in my personal opinion. But we will see the Carbon Roller and the Splatana come out on the side of Gas Station Sushi, along with is that the base heavy Splatling? But that being said, the stream is dying for me. I don't know if it's just me.
Okay, I think I'm back in. I was lagging for a hot minute, but right now I'm seeing Gas Station get rid of 2 down. I think it's only a Crazy individual left, but Crazy does go down to that heavy edit, and the rest of Gas Station Sushi are still trying to hold the space even though the tower is backing off. Ivy will pop their hammer, they go down to Phoenix, who then goes down to Beige, and this tower is still rolling in the momentum of Gas Station Sushi. We're seeing Leggy taking some very bold positioning. They're alone. They do have Body of Water on the Wiper now back into mid, so they can regroup with the rest of the team as they're now jumping back into fourth.
Yeah, that was some very, very awkward lag on both of our ends, because I was also getting it too, but it seems that Vaguepost Kingdom is very slowly getting pushed back as they stagger their spawns, not really able to get their footing as just one dies. Tacticooler comes out from Gas Station Sushi along with the Triple Zuka, and it seems to be a bloodbath out there as the tower kind of stalls on the ramp going upwards.
it's only Ava alive right now in Vaguepost Kingdom, and everyone on Gas Station Sushi are starting to mobilize. Body of Water will be throwing that hammer, getting rid of Ava. Beef is also low here as Water and Leggy are starting to move in on their position. Leggy's going to be able to get rid of Beef. They're the only one left standing here, but they are securing jumps. No, they're not securing any more jumps for Gas Station Sushi, as Vaguepost Kingdom have mostly cleared out their own spawn, and now it's an endeavor of trying to take back mid, because this tower has never entered Gas Station Sushi's side of the map.
Yeah, it just kind of the Vaguepost Kingdom has been just kind of held back, but that flank from the Dynamo player, I don't remember, I couldn't catch their name, but that flank from the Dynamo player on the tower kind of secured this pushback as they very slowly crawl their way on back to mid. The Tacticooler comes out again on the side of Gas Station Sushi along with the Stamp, and the Stamp gets countered by the Splatana.
Yeah, like, little known fact, Wiper can, in fact, just cancel stamps. I mean, like, I've done it a fair bit of time as a Wiper player, but if anything, Gas Station Sushi have immediately overrid any kind of host from Vaguepost Kingdom at the moment. It's now, they're cruising it right back into mid. Water is still trying to get rid of Phoenix. There's 2 members down on Vaguepost Kingdom as the rest of them are now regrouping towards Switch and towards the front of mid. There's going to be 1 minute 30 seconds left, under 1 minute 30 seconds left on the clock. In Vaguepost Kingdom, they really need to find their way forward because 68 to 21 is a very large score margin.
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely have some room to make up for as they very slowly get pushed back and back into their spawn. Something we've seen earlier in the game already. The Dynamo trying to take a flank position, but Leggy ready for that flank. And Gas Station Sushi just kind of holding on to their point at mid as they expect these flanks coming from Vaguepost Kingdom on either side, not really letting them get a foothold into the door. And Beef goes down. It's just a stalwart defense coming from Gas Station Sushi.
Yeah, they just don't want this tower to even leave mid at this point here. They can just take the... It's like they don't even need to take the tower. They just don't want the tower to be on their side of the map. And if anything, they're pushing that tower again with under 30 seconds left on the clock. With this, Vaguepost Kingdom need to get one heck of an overtime push if they want to take this game, because a lot of the momentum is rolling against them. They are Sisyphus, and they are looking to be losing that rock that is rolling away from them as we speak. And Body of Water is finally getting canceled out, but a second stamp has almost hit Phoenix. But Phoenix is able to shut that out here, and that's game 1. And to the winner of this one, Sushi, of course.
Sushi, of course. I will like to point out that backed in the corner, Phoenix with their back against the wall in the water, fending off 2 ultra stamps one by one. What a little valiant effort. If only we had seen that earlier in the game, maybe this game the round would have come out a little differently.
Definitely so, because I feel like Gas Station Sushi just stole a lot of momentum within maybe like with the first 2 minutes of the match, because they went all the way to probably like they went all the way to the 20s. They kind of spent half of that game in Vaguepost Kingdom spawn, and then past that point it was just an uphill battle. I already mentioned the Sisyphus allegory earlier, but they were really trying to roll that rock up the hill, but then they just keep losing it. So even still, there's a lot of opportunities to come back, because now the stakes have been raised again. It's best of 5. So we're going to game number 2, Rainmaker Undertow Spillway.
I do not like this map, just in general. Undertow Spillway has been the bane of my existence ever since the game came out, and it will always and forever be one of my least favorite maps. But that being said, can't stop it from being in rotation.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on this map?
I don't mind it, I will say. It doesn't feel like a map that you can be locked out of easily, but man, our pushes here are very long and tedious, because obviously you don't go right side. You go left side, and then you have to walk the Rainmaker through the very evil hallway that is ultra stamp size. And by any chance, Blurple, do you know what special Gas Station Sushi has 2 of?
2 stamps! We saw them both get popped on Phoenix, obviously both shut out, but that's besides the point. I do say we may see a bit of a comp switch up coming from the side of Vaguepost Kingdom. Although
Yeah.
I'm reading chat, even though I'm not really supposed to. Apparently
Yeah,
the colors are swapped.
I think yeah. Wait, really? Gas station suit beef man. Oh, oh wow. Okay, wow. Okay, huh?
We've
Go
been
figure.
commentating over the we've been hyping up the wrong team the whole time. It seems that Vaguepost Kingdom took that one.
Okay, okay, I see it now.
I see
So
it now.
okay, so Vaguepost skin was orange,
Okay.
right?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure yeah, okay, there. Vaguepost Kingdom is orange and Gas Station Sushi is blue. So that's 1-0 Vaguepost Kingdom. They have a lot
Okay.
of forward momentum. Okay, okay, lock in, lock in.
Lock in, lock in. Okay, okay. Now, okay, so Gas Station Sushi on this is where Phoenix resides. So Vaguepost Kingdom does own 2 of those stamps, and it does not seem like the comps have changed at all, actually, except for the is that the 91 S Blaster right there? Is what I see.
Yes, yes. Gas Station Sushi now bringing out some AoE with that. With some more AoE with that blaster. And Beef trying to charge forward. Body of Water is still able to shut them out here. Able to lead with the top of the Rainmaker alone thanks to Bo's insane object damage. Right now, Gas Station Sushi are now trying to do a little bit of what was dealt to them in game 1 and try to push up. And Leggy continues to push forward, getting rid of Ava, and are still able to stay alive thanks in part to the Ultra Stamp from Body of Water. And was Ivy trying to go to the right side?
I think so. It was a bit in vain as they kind of get shut down by the rest of Gas Station Sushi. I will say just one thing I've noticed throughout this entire set. It's been a bit of a roller dominance almost, as we see Leggy and Phoenix both get it, or not Phoenix, the Dynamo on the side of Gas Station Sushi, just kind of making plays to help advance the team forward either side.
Yeah, and in 2 different ways. You have Leggy, who's just very good at taking initiative, taking picks, and taking forward space. But then you have Crazy on Gas Station Sushi, who can just cover an immense amount of space and kind of shut down a lot of the agile frontliners of Vaguepost Kingdom, the Wiper, the Carbon here. Already Leggy going down to an effort from Beef and Crazy. Ava's now situated on Spine, trying to at least sniff out any more sharking frontliners, probably Body of Water, who has now been torqued out by Beef and is probably being hunted down by Phoenix. Crazy's moving in, getting rid of Beige. That Booyah Bomb has been popped. Ivy has popped their hammer, getting shut down by Beef. And now, Gas Station Sushi are pushing up thanks to Beef's stamp. Oh, the hammer snipe!
Oh, the hammer snipe coming off the dunk, not letting Gas Station Sushi cap the point, although they do eventually pick it up and just quickly cap it as Leggy tries to get a couple kills in vain. Now they're fighting for the Rainmaker as Vaguepost Kingdom takes the pop and the space. Tactical are coming out on the side of Vaguepost Kingdom as Beige starts taking a little more space. Ivy resetting the Rainmaker. Not so sure about that play.
Yeah, especially because Gas Station Sushi had just so much of mid. They can immediately pick that up and be poised for another push because Crazy's got their cooler. But, you know, maybe it just doesn't matter when you have someone like Leggy assisted by Body of Water just immediately taking space and taking names. There's 3 members down. It's only Beef left, and they're still trying to commit to right, and it's working so far because they almost got that Rainmaker in. They go 2 members down on Gas Station Sushi. Phoenix going down as well. There's still a continuous 2 members down on Gas Station Sushi. A combo of a Zuka and Hammer throw to clear out Crazy. They get this checkpoint, but now it's a matter of pushing it down an uninkable staircase.
Yeah, and I will say, I noticed a bit of a miscommunication on the side of Vaguepost Kingdom as Beige tried to cross over, go to the left side instead of right, when Body of Water was trying to clear the way for them. But now Gas Station Sushi holding the Rainmaker as they push back up this left side. Booyah Bomb coming out to almost shield the Rainmaker. Beige getting splatted. A full wipeout on the side for Vaguepost Kingdom as Gas Station Sushi makes it 1-1.
So now we can actually say, the winner of this game, Sushi, of course.
Sushi, of course.
Take a shot every time we've referenced that bit. And now this set is tied up. We are at least going to a game 4.
Oh, absolutely. I will say this has been an absolute treat, as I predicted earlier this block. these two teams are absolutely formidable against each other, and I am so excited for map 3 as we head into, once I pull up my little master sheet, Splat Zones on Robo Ramen.
I feel like this could be a map where both of these teams really clash. I think you said that these teams were really matched evenly against each other, and I really want to point out that both of these teams are running at least one bow and one wiper. And my team also runs one bow and one wiper. I'm the wiper. And they really go well together because they can do really good object damage here. Wiper provides some good AoE and good chip damage for Wiper to follow up on. And in the case of Gas Station Sushi, who won the last game, they have 2 stamps, and that can be used really, really like it can be used in a lot of different ways. 2 hammer throws, 2 stamps on the zone. That's really funny to do, and I really, considering that they popped 2 stamps against Phoenix in, actually no, was that Vaguepost Kingdom popping 2 stamps again? I don't know, but someone popped, I remember they popped 2 stamps on, was it a Nautilus on Endgame 1? It would be cool if they did that on the zone.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I will say I very much expect to see any weapon playing Sprinkler on Robo Ramen. As we all know, we just throw that little thing up on top of the bowl and just let it paint zone infinitely for free. But it does not seem that we... Well, no, actually, I see the Dread Ringer come out and the Explosher come out on the side of Vaguepost Kingdom. Very interesting pick.
I mean, that Explosher can do damage, some good chip to help Leggy and Body of Water, as well as we're now seeing Gas Station Sushi go 3 down. And with the Dread going down, securing the wipe, Vaguepost Kingdom are already trying to establish their kingdom in Gas Station Sushi's elbow.
Yeah, absolutely. Vaguepost Kingdom just taking it very, very convincingly away from Gas Station Sushi as they get a very early wipeout. But now Gas Station Sushi bonding with their own without even using almost any specials at all.
Yeah, and then because they haven't used any specials, we're seeing the slider come out on Vaguepost Kingdom spawn, and Ivy will be going down. We're seeing Ivy and Beige go down. It's only Body of Water going up against Beef in a sword duel of the century, and Beef comes out on top here, and Gas Station Sushi are very close to entering the 15th threshold, and now they take the lead.
Absolutely, and Ivy Mousy trying their absolute best to do something with the Explosher, as Vaguepost Kingdom and Gas Station Sushi kind of now duke it out in this mid-ground. Beef waiting for a flank, it seems, but I'm hoping that the timing will not be too late.
Yes, Leggy's trying to hold the space here. Also, that hammer from Body of Water can be really good for just holding up the space. And Leggy is still moving with them. They're landing the hammer throw onto Ava. A splashdown comes out from Ivy, not claiming any targets, as Beef is going to be able to get rid of Ivy. And exactly just as Vaguepost Kingdom left penalty, Gas Station Sushi flips it right back into their favor. They're right back to counting down their penalty, and they're already back into trying to take elbow again.
Yes, and I did say maybe Beef just waited just a little too late there to try and pull out the stamp to regain some space for Gas Station Sushi. Now Ivy Mousy taking a bit of a more forward position, trying to paint the zone, especially now that they have built up their special and may even try to just fully paint the zone with the splashdown like so. And now we see Leggy claiming a couple lives here and there with their roller.
Yes, so now Vaguepost Kingdom, they've gotten a lot of good picks. They've forced Gas Station Sushi back here. They're a little bit hesitant to move in, but Body of Water as well as Leggy are sharking. They go unscathed by the Super Chumps here. Will Beef notice? No, Beef is actually noticed by Body of Water. They pop the stamp, get rid of Body of Water. Leggy, on the other hand, is still here. They're able to get rid of Crazy. It's only Leggy, but right now they're a one-man armada. They are at least halfway towards the game. They go 2 down, 3, and that's number 4. That's a quad for Leggy, and the rest of Vaguepost Kingdom are able to assist them in that matter. They are now in the lead and poised to go forward, but this slider from Phoenix able to get rid of 2.
That's just the power of a very forward carbon roller, especially Deco, just being able to play so oppressively, especially when the team least expects it, and just harass the backline and the returning respawns as just farming these splats over and over and over again. But we see Gas Station Sushi and Vaguepost Kingdom swapping zones back and forth, not really taking down too many points between each other, but Vaguepost Kingdom seeming to come out on top as the Tacticooler comes out and Leggy picks it up, and we might see another humongous killing spree, go for one on Beef, and escaping with an inch of their life, but getting ultimately taken out, and now the entirety of Vaguepost Kingdom wiped out.
Now Gas Station Sushi are poised to start taking elbow once more. They need to be hesitant. They need to be careful because I think Leggy's already gotten rid of Beef, and Leggy's already firing off their Zuko, but they get caught out by Crazy. But even still, the damage is still being dealt. The zone is still in Vaguepost Kingdom's blue. It now has been flipped by Gas Station Sushi. It's only Beige and Leggy on the field right now, but between those two, they're able to flip it once again. It feels like Gas Station Sushi just can't secure a long hold. And when you have at least 30 seconds left on the clock, I think that's what you really want to happen. But Vaguepost Kingdom are just constantly canceling them out, not allowing them to hold for more than maybe like a couple of seconds. And now they are out of their penalties. I think we're going to see Body Water come back in with a stamp. Beef's Hammer Throw won't be claiming any targets. It's only Ivy and the Headits here, and two have gone down. The zone has been trapped by Gas Station Sushi. We're maybe in for an overtime.
We might be in for an overtime as Gas Station Sushi are now like almost like a whole different team within this last 30 seconds as they push their way all the way back, now very decisively holding this zone and not letting Vaguepost Kingdom take an inch as we get very, very, very close now as we're under 10 points left. It's just ticking away oh so slowly, and Vaguepost Kingdom can't do anything about it, and so it seems that that's going to be game for Gas Station Sushi.
And they figure it all out within the last 30 seconds of overtime here. They made sure they had all of the exits blocked out. They had elbow blocked out. They had court blocked out, and they even had the bottom flank locked out as we saw Crazy spot out Body of Water in the flank. And then at that point, they also had, you had Ava, you had Phoenix watching down the main choke point here and blocking out, say, Body of Water, blocking out, they're also blocking out Ava here, and not Ava, they blocked out, if I remember correctly, they blocked out Ivy, and they also keenly got rid of Beige, like, really early on. And then when you lose when you lose probably the weapon that paints the most in your team, like the Headit, a lot can really start to shift in the opponent's favor. So that's the lead is now in Gas Station Sushi's favor.
Yeah, and I will say I did not expect that to happen. Leggy, I'll commend them again. Absolutely just harassing the backline with that carbon roller, just getting splat after splat, almost getting a 4K within the span of like 10 seconds.
Yeah. If anything, if Vaguepost Kingdom can get a lot of the same kind of just aggression and a lot of that just space, a lot of the immediate space and momentum taking that they brought out in Game 1 here, we can definitely see Body of Water and Leggy just go on immense kill streaks here. Those weapons are just poised to claim multiple targets, go for doubles, go for triples, and even in Leggy's case, go for quads here. It's Clam Blitz on Inkblot here. Leggy is already moving in. They've gotten rid of Crazy. That's Cooler and Paint shut down. They've gotten rid of Beef as well. That's their front line going down. And that's a lot of space being claimed for Vaguepost Kingdom. Ivy has their splashdown ready to go, and the Clam economy is definitely in Vaguepost Kingdom's hands. They have a power built, and they are poised to push.
Absolutely, Leggy just going on the hyper-aggressive, understanding that, especially after that Robo Ramen game, that without it, Gas Station or Vaguepost Kingdom can just very slowly inch their way back with the meta that they've built for themselves. The absolute airball coming on the side of Vaguepost Kingdom, breaking the Super Clam. Crazy now taking one off Beige, losing a lot of ink though, and scraping away with an inch of their life. Phoenix now still on the Dreadbringer, it seems.
With one air ball, the entire economy flips, and now Gas Station Sushi has a power and 12 more clams in their possession here. They pop the chumps Perhaps a little bit too early though, as Leggy's now getting rid of Crazy, potentially also Beef, but Beef is still traded out. Body of Water popping their hammer, not claiming any targets. Unfortunately here is now Gas Station Sushi. They have reclaimed their power clam. They have a slider ready to go from Phoenix, and now I think this is their moment to push. They get rid of Beige, Phoenix claims the ball again, and they don't miss, unlike Vaguepost Kingdom. Beef's hammer does not claim any targets. Is there going to be any follow-up from Gas Station Sushi though here? And there it is, the follow-up comes from Ava, who pushes the lead all the way to 68. It's only Crazy left here, as I think it's left to Crazy to just paint mid in Gas Station Sushi's yellow.
Yeah, definitely lost a couple of lives and a lot of valuable space on that push, but at least putting in a couple more clams than just the power clam. And now the economy is in a bit of a similar position, but Vaguepost Kingdom owning more ground, being able to grab more clams as they build up to this power clam and build up their specials as well. A big flank coming from Leggy, splatting Beef, and now just kind of holding this mid space, denying any clams on the side of Gas Station Sushi as Vaguepost Kingdom builds to their to their power clam, but unable to get it as both Leggy and Mouse go down.
I think Vaguepost Kingdom hesitated a little bit too much here, and then next thing you know, they get punished out for that here. And if anything, Gas Station Sushi are moving in now. Body of Water is moving in. They are able to get rid of Crazy, get rid of Beef as well before getting shut down by Phoenix once more. They're holding down mid, and that's just what Dreadringer can do with its range, but it gets shut down by Ivy, who is getting chipped out by Crazy and goes down, canceling out any opportunities for a splashdown in the moment. Beige is the holder of the power clam, and Body of Water was trying to move into gas. They're able to escape with their life. Crazy trying to take down Beige, but Beige is able to get rid of them. They drop the sodas for Vaguepost Kingdom. With 3 specials online, there's no way they don't push, right? Yeah, they are now in with Leggy, Ivy, and Body of Water in, but Leggy goes down first here. They are able to get rid of Ava as well as Crazy and Beef. That's a wipeout for Vaguepost Kingdom. Can I say it? Boom, a second power clam has hit the basket, and now Vaguepost Kingdom are in the lead.
That was just an absolute masterclass coming from Vaguepost Kingdom, headed by Beige and Leggy, as they very just quickly swim up towards the basket. Now almost able to one basket it, perhaps, but it seems that not so much. Unless, unfortunately, not able to one basket.
I mean, hey, the damage has been dealt. 68 to 18, that's a lead that you definitely want, especially if you're in Vaguepost Kingdom state. And it's 1 minute left on the clock. Gas Station Sushi needs to have one heck of a push in order if they want to stay in this set. And with Crazy going down first, that's not a solid start.
Absolutely. Gas Station Sushi needs an answer to Vaguepost Kingdom's almost stalwart defense that they've been holding in mid for most of the match. This Ivy on this Explosher, while I doubted it during Robo Ramen, has really shown to be just this pinging, oppressive tool to keep Gas Station Sushi at bay, as Beige and Leggy can take the attention that Ivy Mouse takes to get flanks.
Yeah, Body of Water just went into bats for a bit to just harass the backline, doing a bit of Leggy's work as well, never doubt out to the Wiper. But right now, it's overtime, and Gas Station Sushi needs to have the push of all time, say their prayers, and especially with 2 members down on Vaguepost Kingdom, this could be it. Phoenix pops the slider. They have this power clam in the course. It will be connecting, but now they need all their clams in the basket, and they need them now. Ava's going to be throwing more, pushing it to the 50s, but 2 members go down on Gas Station Sushi. Beef and Crazy are still alive. They need more clams, and they need them now. They need this clam movement to work, but they are going down. It's only it's not even Crazy. It's only Ava left, and Ava won't be able to throw any more clams in. This overtime is now closing as Vaguepost Kingdom takes the semifinal set to Game 5.
Absolutely, and this is kind of what we all expected coming from both of these teams, as Vaguepost Kingdom really showed how just unmoving that they can be, especially on Inkblot. Just this big wall that Gas Station Sushi did not have the tools to climb over.
Exactly. Like, we saw the potential of their aggression on Ramen. We saw that potential unleashed. This is their Chimera Shadow Garden, and now they are ready to. They are poised to get their tickets punched to finals to face Isengard, who have taken down Six Censored in the other end of semifinals. But it all comes down to this last game, Plurble, and it's gonna be on TC Shipshape.
Absolutely. Just always a very good final map to have for map 5. Just all around balanced, fair fun, in my personal opinion.
I mean, I guess the biggest caveat about Shipshape is that this is a lockout dependent mode here, because once you go past second checkpoint, you basically enter the point of no return. So you really want to be getting a lot of forward momentum. And coincidentally enough, if there's anyone that can take forward momentum really well, that's Vaguepost Kingdom.
Absolutely. We saw it with Body of Water, we saw it with Leggy, we even saw a little bit of it with Beige, as Ivy Mouse just kind of holds the anchor for the team, as the entirety of the team just starts pushing so aggressively and almost out of nowhere. And Gas Station Sushi did not have an answer for it in map 4. So let's see if we can see a little bit of a meta, like a composition change, and maybe, just maybe, Gas Station Sushi will have an answer for it.
And what we have seen from Gas Station Sushi is that, like, if a match can get drawn out here, they're really keen on, like, capitalizing off of that here. If they can wear out a lot of the aggressive members of Vaguepost Kingdom here, they can already come right back out here, because they just have so much control in their fingertips. They have Crazy. They have Ava. They don't have Ava, actually. Where is Ava?
They do not have a fourth member of their team, as Ava does not show, and so we see a ended battle as we wait to see what happened with Ava.
Yeah, I think Ava might have DC'd there, so we're gonna have to run that one back. But some key things to note: Phoenix is back on S Blast, or it has switched to S Blast. I'm not sure if Phoenix has ran that in the past, and Ivy is back on Wellstring. So really interesting to see. Interesting to see Vaguepost Kingdom go back to Bow and Splatling for their backline here, and also they're running 2 stamps.
Oh, yeah, we're back to the 2 stamps method that seems to have worked in the past for the most part, but I've just now noticed Leggy really is a carbon roller one trick in name, title, and badge.
Oh, that is commitment to their bit, to their honor as a carbon one trick. But what is up? And okay, this is a really amazing open for Body of Water on the wiper here, and they're assisted by Ivy Mouse actually here, and they're just pressuring out the left stack, which is really good for them, because it could just, like, I think it's just preventing Beef and Ava from kind of making a move so far here. And already Beef has gone down, the sodas have been dropped out by Crazy, and Leggy is moving in, but they have been shut down.
Yeah, I will say, just Ivy really able to pick up the slack as they just become this humongously heavy anchor in this, like, almost oppressive just turret almost, with the well string, with the explosher, not letting Gas Station Sushi have a pick unanswered for, as very slowly Vaguepost Kingdom pushes up now the first checkpoint, unable to cap it, unfortunately, as they kind of stagger their spawns. Leggy going down, and now Tacticoolers coming out for the side of Gas Station Sushi as well.
They're getting a lot of momentum back. They get rid of Body of Water as well as Beige, but Leggy still getting checked out. This hammer throw from Ivy is able to get rid of Phoenix and Crazy, but Ava and Beef are holding down the fort for the rest of Gas Station Sushi to jump out. Beef is taking court, and Ava is securing the tower checkpoint. That hammer throw is almost going to get rid of Beige, and if Crazy moves in for the pick, Beige will go down, and no, Crazy is the one going down, and Leggy is once again on the flank, accompanied by Body of Water. And if anything, they are poised to shut things down, like Leggy has proven to do in these last couple games, and that they do. 2 members down on Gas Station Sushi, as the Knights of Vaguepost Kingdom are already right back in the driver's seat of the tower and are moving forward.
Absolutely, I saw Leggy scraping by with an inch of their life left on the rollout there to take the tower back, getting into a nice flank position to kill Beef, and now, as it was previously, now flipped on the head of Gas Station Sushi. These spawns are just getting staggered, and Gas Station Sushi is just getting pushed farther and farther back into their spawn. Vaguepost Kingdom now taking the lead for this game, but not able to push it much farther as they start losing their numbers. Ivy Mousy now in their backline though, taking out 2 members of Gas Station Sushi.
That's really key for them because that's a huge stagger. And once again, they continue to stagger. 2 members of Gas Station Sushi go down again. It's only Beef and Ava who's really far away from the action and is already getting pressured out by Leggy Zuko. And Leggy is moving in once again. They're being chipped out by Phoenix's S-Blast here. They go down to the arrows of Ava, who just has enough reach to claim that pick. 2 members now down on Vaguepost Kingdom, but they're just holding so much space here because you have Body of Water holding down the stack here. Leggy is already right back into the fold. Ivy's going to be jumping back as well, but Leggy's been caught out by Phoenix. Leggy goes down, and now Phoenix is trying to go for 2, but they get shut down by Beige, as now I think Vaguepost Kingdom are already poised to go right back into the action.
Absolutely, a great display of being able to work on the fly for Body of Water as they kind of go back to secure jumps for the team. And now being able to gear up again once more for this final push. As you said, the point of no return. They're starting to make this headway very slowly, and they seem to just hold the tower all the way up to point number 2, but Gas Station Sushi seems to shut them out. Now it's just Beige on the retreat, hoping to scrape by with their life.
And we're seeing a similar situation to what happened on Hagglefish. Vaguepost Kingdom always wanted to make sure that the tower is on Gas Station Sushi's end of the map. But do they realize that Leggy is here? No, they don't. They get rid of Ava. They get rid of Beef. They could potentially get rid of Crazy as well as Phoenix. But if anything, Leggy holding left stack like this is really good for Vaguepost Kingdom. And they get rid of Crazy too. That's no paint and no cooler for Gas Station Sushi. And another further stagger courtesy of Leggy, and Leggy like alone right now.
Absolutely. Beef now trying to get this push up, forgetting that Leggy is still there. And now Crazy forced to go back to spawn. Ivy, Mousy, and Beige pushing the tower back all the way back up. Ava just pinging the tower with their arrows, but Beige taking definitive control of the tower, especially with the Splatling. Now Tacticooler comes out. Leggy picks it up very sneakily and puts themselves in a great position to hopefully get a nice pick now, getting a pick on what seemed to be Beef. And now the Super Chunk comes out, everyone retreats, waits, bides their time, and Gas Station Sushi launching an offensive to take the tower again once more.
If anything, this is gonna, they need to have one heck of a push. I keep saying this, but they seriously need it. And if anything, getting 3 down is a solid start, but letting Leggy, yeah, it doesn't matter when Leggy was always there. Leggy was there the whole time.
Leggy's always been there. It doesn't matter if they died. They've always been there.
And thanks to Leggy securing the tower even before overtime kicked in, that is the set going to Vaguepost Kingdom. They have their tickets punched to grand finals of this week's From the Ink Up. And man, what a set!
Oh my god, that got my heart racing, especially there at the end. Just Gas Station Sushi playing on the back foot, especially in the final 3 maps, or the back 3 maps. Just not able to really get a foot into the iron door that is Vaguepost Kingdom.
Yes, yeah, they keep that iron door shut with their iron grasp. So, they have their sights set for winning this whole thing, but they are going up against a team that we have all seen before here. They're running a very interesting offensive core, and we're seeing potentially Unstoppable Force go up against another Unstoppable Force. We're going to be seeing Vaguepost Kingdom take on the members of Isengard in finals. So, there's a whole lot more from the Ink Up waiting, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All journeys have an end, and this is the moment for From the Ink Up 106 to reach its thrilling conclusion. Welcome, everyone. For those just joining stream, I'm Frostix, and I'm joined by Blurble. Last time on From the Ink Up, Isengard 2-0'd 15 over, and Vaguepost Kingdom ended their set against Gas Station Sushi all the way at Game 5. And now we're seeing both of these teams in finals.
Absolutely. Both teams were an absolute treat to watch in both of the games that we in both of the sets that we did manage to watch from them. And while we didn't get to see the set between Six Censored and Isengard, we can see that it was a very convincing 3-0.
So we have stated last time around, and we've seen from both of these teams that they're really aggressive, just like off jump, because you have Isengard that can has a potential Dapple, but also a potential Carbon, and then you have Vaguepost Kingdom with their Wiper and Carbon, and also and considering Game One's going to be on Humpback Rain, I feel like this is the perfect map for these two teams to be clashing on. This is a Fight Club map.
Oh, absolutely. It's a amazing map to both to have the teams both get to know each other if they haven't already. And so this will be a very interesting match to watch. Leggy, again, I don't even have to say it, is going to come out on the carbon roller. Probably the Deco, if I had to take a quick guess, but it seems that on the side of Isengard, a similar comp to what we have seen from them previously.
Yes, and we are bringing in 1099 plus tax instead of Lulu Wolf, so now we're seeing some carbon action from Isengard as well. But if there's one thing Vaguepost Kingdom brings to the table, and that's it's well scripted, so they immediately get that pop. Leggy going down first is going to be really unfortunate for Vaguepost Kingdom because you're losing a really key aggressor here, and then that's going to allow Isengard to be aggressing in turn. So we're seeing Stormy do that. They're going to be trading out Body of Water as 1099 plus tax are moving in, getting rid of Beige. Mage is now moving in to get rid of Ivy. So now Isengard are going to be the ones picking up that Rainmaker and are practically, yeah, they are going to get that push point.
Absolutely. It was just a very methodical push, picking each member out as they become necessary to be cleaned. Fugitive now making a very desperate attempt as their team gets wiped out, but scoring some immense progress for Isengard. And now Vaguepost Kingdom taking it, Ivy Mousy bringing up the rear as Leggy holds this insane position, getting a kill on 1099 tax, Carbon versus Carbon. Leggy comes out on top. Ivy Mousy getting pushed out by the killer whale. Just too much to handle.
Not just the whales, but also the AoE of Stormy, who is just very consistent on this custom range blaster here. There's just a lot of info that can be brought out with Isengard's comp here. You have the point sensor from the 52, and you have the Gal with the whales. And right now, I think Beige goes down. I think we saw Stormy go down, and Leggy is once again trying to flank. Will they be able to get rid of Stormy here? No. Will they be able to get rid of 1099? No. 1099 plus tax is going to be able to get rid of Leggy. Stormy's going to get rid of Ivy Mousy for 3 down on Vaguepost Kingdom as Beige is now jumping out. And if anything, you just allowed Isengard to take the unorthodox left side route.
Oh, absolutely. And so now it's going to be a bit of an awkward position for Vaguepost Kingdom to defend, and it seems that they cannot, as Isengard very convincingly takes all of the space that they need to cap.
And there it is. A lot of forward momentum now going in Isengard's favor here. It's like, I think they obviously got a lot of the points off in their first push here, with Fugitive taking it all the way to 31. But then unfortunately with Beige dropping off that Rainmaker right next to the opening to the left side push, that just allowed Isengard to move in, and I'm not sure if we noticed it on the right side of the map, but I had a gut feeling that maybe, like, I don't know, like, what was it, Body of Water or Ivy were setting up on the right, expecting them to rotate, but then they just take that anyways, and they push that straight in to the goal. So going from going from map 1 to map 2, we're going to Zones Barnacle, and a lot is riding on this, I will say, because it's a lockout map, and these two teams, they really like going for their lockouts.
Oh, absolutely. And I would not be surprised if we do see someone like like Ivy Mousy pull out a sniper to help hold this anchor position on that little middle part of Barnacle and Dime. But I will say, watching 1099 and Leggy duke it out for best carbon roller, I will say I think 1089 definitely had the edge on Leggy.
Yeah, and I think it also comes out because of just the amount of paint that can come out from Isengard here. You have Fugitive painting things down with their, I think it's their leader, and then you also have Mage on that 52 that can provide so much paint, but also a lot of offensive pressure, which can allow 1099 plus tax to thrive. But dare I say, I'm not I want to say I'm not even sure if they're gonna bring 1099 plus tax because they have the potential to bring out Lulu Wolf. There it is. Yep, there's the ping from the voices in my head. Lulu Wolf is gonna be subbing in for game two, and like if we bring in the Dapple Nouveau here, they've got the slider for zone, and they also have Torps, which can be good for sniffing out the Sharkers on Vaguepost Kingdom. They can sniff out Leggy, they can sniff out Body of Water.
Absolutely. And I will say just the watching the Dapples being played, especially on that museum game that we saw from the previous 2 sets ago, it was just this oppressive push that I like. We're, as you said, we're watching unstoppable force versus unstoppable force. Isengard going a bit of a different route with it, with the custom blaster and Dapples versus Vaguepost Kingdom's Splatana and Nautilus.
Yeah, so let's get into the action here. 1-0 on the set so far. There's a lot of opportunity to come back because this finals is once again best of 5. What are we seeing from Isengard here? Pencil will be brought out from Fugitive, and Ivy Mousy will bring out the custom Explosher here, and I think we've seen them bring this out for zones in the past. We saw them bring out the Explosher on Robo Ramen, so no surprise to see it here.
Absolutely not, and I would not be surprised if we see it on the Clan Blitz map as well. Ivy Mousy just kind of ping, as I mentioned previously, just kind of using the Explosher as this pinging tool to push back the members of Isengard to let Vaguepost Kingdom take space, but Isengard is not letting it happen as they push this left side instead. Now the Tacticooler coming out, Fugitive taking this very offensive position with the Snipe Rider, pushing Body of Water all the way to the corner. Now, the entirety of Isengard pushing into their spawn and not letting Vaguepost Kingdom breathe. The Torps, as you said, do help sniff out some of these people, but it doesn't help if you are just being pushed all the way back into your spawn.
Yeah, and then that is the lockout that we were talking about on Barnacle and Dime here, because even when Vaguepost Kingdom finally were able to flip the zone, the damage has been dealt. 37 points have been scored by Isengard once again here. Stormy's going to be able to go for 2 on Ivy and Beige, and is opening the floor for Isengard to continue on their oppressive mission right now, because you just have Lulu, I think that was like Lulu Wolf, or I think probably Mage, deep into court here. You have Stormy and Lulu Wolf just taking down Ivy as well with the splashdown, and they're almost out of their penalty again. Vaguepost Kingdom needs to get paint on the ground, and they need to get that paint on the ground fast here, because they've gotten rid of 3 members. It's only Lulu Wolf left, so they're finally able to cap the zone. They really need to establish a stronghold right now.
Absolutely, and it was almost perfect not letting Isengard get a single point off coming off of their penalty, immediately flipping the zone after. What was that? Ivy Mousy getting a little too adventurous up there. Lulu Wolf getting the slider out now, but caught way out of position. This triple splashdown comes out on the side of Vaguepost Kingdom to recap the rest of the zone. Now, the Stamp coming out, not getting anybody, but Vaguepost Kingdom very slowly taking the lead back away from Isengard. And now the triple splashdown coming out from the side of Isengard as well, but it just does not matter. Vaguepost Kingdom is so good at repainting that zone that only when do they lose their players do they lose the zone. But it doesn't matter, Isengard is dying again.
Exactly. It was only Mage for a bit, and now it's only Fugitive. And Vaguepost Kingdom are very cleanly securing that knockout right back onto Isengard. The set is now tied up 1-1, and if anything, Vaguepost Kingdom, they've definitely learned their mistakes after Robo Ramen here. They want, when they get that retake, they want to ensure that they have a strong hold here. They cannot let any more space go to Isengard, because what happened last time, they gave away a little bit too much space towards that end of the game, and then Gas Station Sushi won that Robo Ramen splat zone. So they're not letting that happen anymore. That's game 2 going to Vaguepost Kingdom, as we now go to a game 3.
Umami Ruins Clam Blitz.
Ooh.
Very, very, very unique way to play Clam Blitz in my personal opinion,
Yeah.
as it's such a closed but open map almost, as you can attack from a decent amount of sides on Umami Ruins to put that power clam in the against the basket.
Yeah,
And
like I feel. Oh, yeah. Continue.
no, you're good. And with the lockout nature of Umami Ruins as well, I think we could even see a one basket.
Yeah, yeah. I think like if one team can get really, really seated in towards court, if you say you have Fugitive on Dome, or you have say Beige, or if you have Beige or Ivy on Dome here, if you can get your carbons in, especially because we have 1099 plus tax back here, we could potentially see a one basket game. Ivy still on that custom explosion, like you said. They're bringing it back specifically for clams. Let's get into the battle.
Absolutely no comp changes coming from the side of Vaguepost Kingdom, but Isengard does sub 1099 tax back in for Lulu Wolf, as the Dapple Dualies are not really needed for zones anymore. And now Leggy getting an assist very early on, but not able to secure their own kill on Mage, as now Vaguepost Kingdom is getting pushed back into their own spawn by Mage.
Yep, and now we're seeing the makings of a potential push as the Power Clam has connected, but 2 members down on Isengard is not going to allow the rest of the members to move in, especially because I think Fugitive had 7. This could have been a double Power Clam push. They do at least build a second power, at least so they can have their second push in order, and Stormy's able to get rid of Ivy as 1099 Tax is able to get the rest. Not just yet though. Beige is the last one left in mid here. They need to push Fugitive out, but unfortunately they go down to Mage, who is weaving in and out of back mid to top mid, back to chair, and then onto divide, onto left, then right. They're moving in, they just ignore whoever was there and move straight in, but Mage goes down to Leggy. It's a really heated neutral going on right now, Liverpool.
Oh, absolutely. Not 1099. Mage just kind of weaving in and out with that 52 gal, being so oppressive and up in the face of Vaguepost Kingdom, waiting for 1099 to come back after they fell. And now Stormy just kind of playing the long game, getting caught out of position, but managing to take Leggy with them. Beige now holding the top post, being pushed back ever so slightly by Isengard. Fugitive now with the power clam up on the top post. Very slowly, Isengard pushing forward, taking out Wipeout. And now we will see Isengard throw the clam, especially with these 8 clams now, 9 clams now, just throwing clams straight into the basket. This might be it for Vaguepost Kingdom here on the Umami Ruins.
But right now, it was only Fugitive left, and they're wisely using their soda buff to get out of there. That push is stopping at 44, but even still, Vaguepost Kingdom have yet to score any points whatsoever. I'm hearing a soda go out here, Body of Water is moving in. There's 2 down on both sides here. Vaguepost Kingdom need to win this neutral here, because they have 2 power clams on their people right now, and they're moving in. Beige gets the first, Leggy's moving in, and that splash wall is able to keep Mage alive for a little bit longer. Fugitive stays alive. Will the second power clam hit? A second power clam has hit the basket, but no one else from Vaguepost Kingdom will be there to capitalize here. And unfortunately, this push is ending at 60, and Isengard stay in the lead with 44, and Mage is picking up the pity. This is going to be potentially really risky, but when you go 2 members down onto Vaguepost Kingdom, now 3 and only Leggy left, and the Power Clam has connected once again. Isengard's push is starting. Fugitive has 7. They're extending their lead now to 40, but now I don't think anyone else is going to be there. Stormy's going to be able to get rid of 2. Wait, Stormy's going to push it further to 34. Their splashdown is ready. They have more clams. They're pushing it to 20s. Blurble, this may be it. The splashdown's live, getting rid of Leggy and Ivy. This basket is still very full, and Fugitive is, I think, coming in with the final blow.
Absolutely, and I think what really killed that push on the side of Vaguepost Kingdom was Leggy trying to get the flank, but unable to, I guess, sort of look up and get and confirm that kill on Mage, even though they were so close up, just kind of hitting their feet instead of the whole body, and just kind of diminishing that one-hit KO range, and then leaving Mage alive to take 2 instead of none.
Yeah, so once again, Umami Ruins proving the lockout is very, very essential here. And then when you have a push with staying power, that push can be very detrimental because I think both of Isengard's pushes have just been very clam heavy. Their first push pushed it all the way to 40, and their second push won them the game. So it really like depends for the character. It really depends on like how well you execute your pushes on Umami. So game number was this 4? Yeah, I think game 4 now is going to be on Inkblot Tower.
Inkblot Tower. Now, I will say we have seen Vaguepost Kingdom be extremely aggressive when it comes to this map, but we were watching the Clam Blitz variation of it, and so I'm not sure how well they'll do with that big, tall mid piece now instead of the 2 side pieces.
Yeah, I mean, we did see a lot of like I think we saw a lot of just willingness to push in, especially I think from Body of Water because I see we saw them go into bats, and I think Wiper's like effortless movement allows it to just take space in enemy spawn so efficiently here. And then obviously you definitely want to see them accompanied by Leggy. When you have a frontline duo like Wiper Carbon, you need to make use of their shared aggression here. They can play in the same spaces here. They can like combo off of each other with their damage numbers and also with their one-shot capabilities here. If you are Vaguepost Kingdom, you need to be like Leggy and Body of Water really needs to be dialing up this aggression here. So I think that's my
Absolutely.
analysis.
Absolutely, and I will say we'll probably see the Wellstring come back out on the side of Vaguepost Kingdom, but other than that, not much will change. It seems that they have found a formula and are trying to stick to it, at least letting them take one game off of Isengard, but Isengard constantly switching up the formula is keeping Vaguepost Kingdom on their toes, but not much seems to have changed on either side. But as I said, the Wellstring does come out, and now the vanilla, or no, this is the vanilla or the side order. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's the vanilla kit. It's the vanilla kit for the Splatling.
For once, we finally see beige on something that isn't heavy edit. It's now the heavy Splatling, and I think I was about to say maybe Ivy could switch to custom Wellstring so that they could have Wavebreaker, which could be really good at sniffing out Carbon Roller. But you know, beige got that, and Ivy is the one in bats here. Not even like, this is so crazy for me. Ivy the Wellstring is in bats, and Body of Water the Wiper is on tower, and they take the tower all the way to 67 to start off with. Body Water is not going to be able to claim the pick there. It's a solid start, but leaves a lot to be desired, I will say.
Absolutely. I did not expect Ivy Mousy to be all the way pushed up the ramp as well. Now Body of Water and the Leggy both waiting for the flank, but Stormy able to catch both of them out of position, taking Body of Water down and leaving Leggy extremely low, forcing them to push off. Now Beige sniped up off the top of, I don't remember the call out, but Fugitive just kind of keeping that oppression. Body of Water pushing them all the way back down. Beige now taking a more forward position, getting this paint back for Vaguepost Kingdom. Ivy Mousy now taking the tower all the way over, but now there's a double kill on the side of Isengard. And now a wipeout!
With that, all that momentum is lost before they could even clear that first checkpoint, as Isengard are now moving in. Stormy and 1099 attack are immediately taking capture. Stormy has a splash down over the Rick, and it goes to Leggy and Beige down. Potentially a third if they land one more shot onto Ivy. Will it happen? Yes, it will. That's Stormy going for 3, securing the wipeout for Isengard, so taking the lead. And Stormy is going for more, accompanied by Maeve.
Yes, Stormy, as we've seen, extremely aggressive with this custom. Body of Water trying to play the Matrix against Isengard as they just bob and weave away from the shots of Isengard, but it seems that Isengard is going to definitively hold this push all the way, taking the set. Congratulations to Isengard, winning 3-1 against Vaguepost Kingdom.
And they are... Man, it's like... That's the second time we saw Isengard take a set over a team that we saw before. First they did it to 15 over, and then they did it against Vaguepost Kingdom to take the entire damn thing. Your victors of From the Ink Up 106 are a Green Mage, Lulu Wolf, 1099 plus tax, Stormy Sharky, and Fugitive, the members of Isengard. There is no Game 5. Game 5 isn't real.
Game 5 is just an imagination. It's just an imagination thing that you came up with in your dreams, and it's only fueled by the monster under your bed.
And the monster under your bed may just be a carbon roller player, as we have been seeing.
Maybe the monster in the bed was the friends we made along the way.
Man, I won't lie, mentally I'm still at that moment where Body Fodder was dodging all of Mage's shots, because how do you do this? By squid bagging? Doesn't 52 two-shot things? I'm pretty sure
Yeah, that
52 is
was
a two-shot weapon.
absolutely. How do you dodge getting two shot? Only get shot once.
That's so crazy. But it's like I said, all journeys must come to an end, and I think, and this is now, or from the ink up 106 ends now. So, I guess before we go off, there's a little bit of some housekeeping that we always love to do. Blurble, before we go, where can the good people of Twitch chat find you on the social medias if you would like to share that?
They can find me on Twitter at BLURRPL Blurple. That is the only social media I have.
Understandable. Uh, I have been Frostix. You can find me on twitter.com at TK_Frostix and also on Blue Sky at Frostix, bluesky.social. I'm going to be casting Gobble in like a couple of weeks. So if you bought tickets and are Canada bound, you're going to see me. You're also going to be seeing our lovely streamer today who I think this is like the first time I've seen you stream like a thing here. Shout outs to Topic. You can find them on Blue Sky. I think I'm pretty sure Topical 2 or something. Shout out Topic for the stream. Shout out Inker and Milotic for Block 1. Blurble, it's been an amazing time, and thank you to everyone that has showed up to this FTIU and everyone that has showed up to Twitch chat. We will be seeing you some other time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been real, it's been fun, and fortunately for everyone involved, it has indeed been real fun. See you all next time.